I'm Rob Kingsbury, the editor of Time4Business. I'm here today with Roland, the sales director of Time4Advice. We'll be talking about the company's business consultancy services and data services. Roland, before we go into detail, can you give us an overview of what Time4Advice is about?
Yeah, absolutely, Rob. So when we set up Time4Advice, we were really keen to get clarity as to what our propositions are and not get distracted. And so we have three core propositions. The first is business consultancy, whether that be helping firms transition so that they're able to face the new world post-RDR with confidence, or whether it's implementing technology. The second is data consultancy, helping them understand what their current data looks like and to show them a way of improving the quality of data. Many firms tell us that their data is in poor state, and we can explore that later. And finally, the delivery of technology, a technology platform which is optimized around supporting firms' clients' propositions, and that's Cure.
The advisor landscape is changing all the time and continues to do so. So how are firms coping with the challenges that throws up?
I think it's a really interesting question, and yes, you're right. I mean, I've been in the industry since 1982 as an advisor before we set up Key Software in 1995. And the industry has always been going through massive change, but never more than in the last 2 to 3 years. I haven't seen a rate of change like it, and nor have our clients. And unsurprisingly, this throws up a lot of challenges. So firms have been focusing over the last few years of making sure that their qualifications are up to speed. And that's been pretty much all-consuming for quite some period of time. And now a lot of firms have got that behind them. They're suddenly trying to think about actually what their service is going to look like, what their business looks like post-RDR. And this is throwing up a lot of challenges because it's a fundamental shift away from how they've operated historically. Most businesses have been working in a transactional business model where they have been finding ways of promoting and selling financial products, which clients need, obviously, and receiving remuneration as a result of those product sales. However, most of the advice they've been giving has been given for free. Retail Distribution Review turns that on its head, and for the first time firms are having to reassess their charging models, not least of which is the charging for a product they've been giving away for free for most of their life. So that presents a real challenge for a lot of people. How do you value something that you've given away for free historically? And so that, I think, is the largest challenge firms have been contending with. And so our business consultancy proposition is all about helping them confront those issues and really help them understand actually where the real value lies and giving them the confidence and also the tools to allow them to express that when engaging with clients.
The first stage of that that you offer is a health check. Yeah. So what does the health check consist of?
So in order to get our clients thinking about what transition means, then clearly the starting point is to understand where they are today, as well as highlight the areas that they need to get better at in order to be a fully formed business in time for Retail Distribution Review. And so the health check is really a precursor to a whole-scale business transformation. And it is an online tool that we've developed which allows firms to answer questions online, at the end of which they get a very comprehensive report which looks at each part of their business and scores them based on readiness. And it's proven tremendously popular. I think it acts as a great catalyst to focus the mind on the important issues that need to be addressed, but then prioritise the change programme based on those areas of the business which are weakest.
You aim to help advisors create tangible improvements in their turnover, profit and capital management. Can you give us some examples of how you've done that?
Yeah, certainly. I think the starting point for any change management is obviously understanding where the firm is today. So once a business has clarity as to where they are and also has a clear view as to where they need to be, it's then a matter of drawing the line and connecting the dots to help them make that transition. Clearly, understanding and telling people how to do that transition is part of the story, but it still leaves a massive gap, which is the creation of the supporting collateral, the documentation, the process flows, the brochureware, the communication approach, the scripts that you might adopt when engaging clients at outset, and then obviously ensuring that the service propositions themselves are commercial. And so we've developed a whole suite of collateral that firms can make their own. So we not only tell them what to do, but we give them the collateral that allows them to do that, as well as deliver a whole load of tools which allow them to assess the commerciality of their proposition. So we have calculators which allow them to put in critical information about their business. It will then regurgitate that information and tell those individuals what their charging propositions need to be in order for those firms to deliver the profit that they need from their business. So having delivered that clarity, having delivered the collateral, then it's a matter of ensuring that the service proposition itself is delivered efficiently, which of course is where the technology comes in, so that they can actually deliver on the promises they've made to their clients.
As an advisor, I'd be asking, what's your experience and your expertise in this kind of business consultancy? And if I bring you into my business, what value am I going to get out of it? Absolutely.
And I suppose it's very easy to say how good you are, and your publicity material might support that. But the reality is it's anecdotal evidence and how clients respond. And in terms of qualifications, our business consultants have been in the industry for a long time. They've worked with both large businesses and small businesses, and so have a wealth of experience that they have delivered in a practical sense. So they've got an enormous amount of practical experience in doing this stuff. More importantly, though, once you've delivered that service, it's understanding the impact that's had on firms. And clearly, what we're able to deliver is significant numbers of testimonials from firms that have been through the process, that have seen the benefits of the service that we deliver. And clearly, that's the best way that firms can gain confidence in the service proposition that we're delivering.
Let's move on to the Time4Advice data service. Yeah. Now, we all know that good data should sit at the heart of every business, but not all advisor firms are collating and using their data to their best advantage. Why is that?
It's a good question, Rob, and I think that really brings everything to the heart of why Time4Advice was set up in the first instance. In order to run a business, data is your value. If you don't have reliable data, then where is the value? It means you can't deliver the service you've promised, you can't communicate easily, and. There are a whole host of reasons why data should sit at the heart of your business. The issue regarding back office technology is that over the years, these systems have been around for 17 years. We set up Key Software in '95, and we developed that pretty much continuously based on feedback from our clients. And the consequence of that is the technology, when it was born, was relatively simple and perfectly formed. Over time, it grew in complexity, which meant that it became increasingly difficult to use. And we often find within firms are telling us that even within their own departments, users are using, their staff are using the technology differently, which means that the quality of data that's being recorded is not consistent. So there's the first problem. The second problem is because a lot of these systems aren't optimized around allowing access to that data easily, then actually it becomes increasingly difficult to use that data, to validate it and to maintain its currency. And so over a period of time, the data degrades.
So how can the Time4Advice data services help with those kind of issues?
So the starting point for any data service is to understand the current quality of data within a firm's back office. And in order to do that, we perform a data assessment, which means that we extract data, we analyse that data, we see any broken linkages, any poor quality data around postcodes and things like that, and then prepare a report for a client which details where the issues are with their data, and then give them options as to how that data can be cleaned up in preparation for importing into Curo. So that's what we would call our bespoke data service. However, a lot of firms don't want to spend a lot of time and a lot of money investigating where their data, because they already, or how their data is in terms of quality, because they already know the quality is suspect. And they might be confident that the basic client information is up to date and relevant, but a lot of it isn't. And so we have a number of, well, two other services in fact, which are fixed charge solutions. One is a basic data transfer where we take a limited number of fields, usually contact information, which we transfer into Curo. The other one is a more detailed service, again fixed price, where we take a greater depth of data as is. But on the way into Curo, we analyse that data as well, so that at the end of that process they know where the issues are.
Roland, thanks very much for that overview.
It's an absolute pleasure.